When I first read her message, my chest went hollow, like someone had scooped my insides out and left only the echo of disbelief. It was a Wednesday afternoon. My phone buzzed during a meeting at work, and when I glanced down, I saw her name, Amber, my fiancée, the woman I was supposed to marry in 3 days. The preview of the text alone made my stomach twist. Wedding still on, but I'm spending the last few nights before my ex foreclosure. I remember staring at it, waiting for it to morph into something else. Some stupid joke she'd follow up with a laughing emoji. But the second message came right after, "Hey, babe, just want to be transparent with you. Cole reached out. His dad's really sick. He needs someone to talk to. I'm going to spend Thursday and Friday night at his place. Nothing will happen, I promise. I just want closure before our big day. Love you. Cole," her ex of 4 years. The same guy she'd sworn she'd buried in the past when we started dating 2 years ago. I sat there frozen in the conference room, the dull murmur of coworkers fading into static. Every line of her message felt like a punch disguised as tenderness. She'd written "love you" at the end, like betrayal could be softened by affection. I typed back 4 words that would end everything. "Do what you need to." And she replied instantly, bubbling with relief. "OMG, you're the best. I knew you'd understand. This is why I'm marrying you. So mature and secure. Can't wait to be your wife on Saturday." Secure, mature. She was using those words like they were armor, but all I felt was numb. I put my phone down, stared at the muted glow of my computer screen, and realized she didn't see me as her partner. She saw me as a placeholder, a safety net while she went chasing ghosts. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. Instead, I started making phone calls. The first one was to the Sterling Estate, our wedding venue. I still remember how calm my voice sounded when the coordinator picked up. "Hi, this is Ryan Carter. I need to cancel my booking for this Saturday." She sounded surprised. "Oh my, is everything okay? You'll lose your deposit." "That's fine. Please cancel everything. The catering, the flowers, the DJ." "Sir, are you sure?" "That's nearly." "I'm sure. Process the cancellation immediately." My second call was to the honeymoon resort in Maui. Non-refundable, of course. Another deposit gone. Didn't care. Then I called my best man, Ethan. "Hey, man," I said, voice steady. "Wedding's off." "What? What happened?" I forwarded him the text. There was a long silence on the other end. Finally, he said, "She really thought you'd be cool with that?" "Apparently." "What do you want me to do?" "Just let the guys know. Everything's canceled." By 6 o'clock that evening, the entire wedding was dead. Deposits lost, plans erased, future deleted. I'd already packed my things from our apartment while she was still at work. Only took what was mine, left the ring on the kitchen counter with a sticky note that said simply, "For closure." Her bachelorette party was that night. Perfect timing. Ethan and I crashed at his place, and I turned my phone off. I didn't want to see her name again. Around 9 that night, Ethan was scrolling through Instagram when he started laughing. "Oh my God, it's starting." "Starting?" I asked. He turned his phone toward me. It was a story from Amber's maid of honor, Sophie, a boomerang of them clinking glasses, all smiles, matching bride tribe shirts under fairy lights. Caption, "Last night of freedom." I felt a bitter laugh rise in my throat. Freedom indeed. Then, 10 minutes later, another notification popped up. Sophie again, but this time, her caption read, "Does anyone know where Ryan is?" The chaos had begun. Apparently, the venue had sent Amber an automated email confirmation for the cancellation. She'd been CC'd on every vendor communication by her own request. So while she was out celebrating, a little, "Your wedding reservation has been canceled" message landed in her inbox. Ethan showed me Sophie's frantic messages blowing up his phone. "Is Ryan with you?" Amber's freaking out. "The venue says he canceled everything. Please tell me this is a mistake." Ethan just replied, "No mistake. Ask her about Cole." Radio silence. Then, 20 minutes later, Sophie sent another, "You're overreacting. You're ruining her life over nothing." Ethan grinned and texted back, "Cool story. Amber's mom started calling next. Linda, 17 missed calls. Left multiple voicemails that sounded like a courtroom drama. Ryan, you answer this phone right now. We have guests flying in. You're being childish. Amber did nothing wrong. We'll sue you for the deposits. Every single vendor contract was in my name. I didn't owe them a dime. By midnight, I blocked everyone. My world had gone blissfully silent, except for the part of me that couldn't stop picturing her laughing at that party before her phone buzzed with reality. Around 11, Ethan's phone lit up again. Unknown number. He picked it up on speaker. Bro, it's Cole. I nearly laughed. You got to be kidding me. Cole's voice came through shaky, like a man begging for a lifeline. Tell Ryan this is all a misunderstanding. Amber was just trying to help. Nothing was going to happen. Ethan said flatly, You literally told him you were spending 2 nights with his fiancée before their wedding. What did you think would happen? It's not like that. Cole insisted. Amber said he was fine with it. Does he sound fine to you? Click. End of call. The next day, Ethan showed me a video posted by Amber's cousin. Amber cried in the bathroom of some rooftop bar. Tiara still on, mascara streaked down her face while her friends tried to console her. Someone off camera said, Maybe Cole can help. Amber screamed, Cole is why this is happening. So much for nothing was going to happen. The following morning, I woke up feeling strangely calm. No anger, no sadness, just the clarity that comes after the storm passes. Then I saw her new Facebook post. To everyone coming to celebrate our wedding this Saturday, it is with a heavy heart that I announce the wedding has been postponed due to Ryan's mental health crisis. He's struggling with anxiety and paranoia, making false accusations. Please keep him in your prayers. Mental health crisis? Paranoia? I actually laughed. I took a screenshot of her original text about spending nights with her ex, posted it publicly with a caption, No mental health crisis. No paranoia. Amber informed me she'd be spending the 2 nights before our wedding with her ex-boyfriend. I wished her well and canceled the wedding. Simple as that. Also, Cole's dad isn't sick. He was at a golf tournament yesterday. Do what you will with that information. The internet did what it always does. Erupted. By the afternoon, my notifications were chaos. Half her relatives were demanding explanations, the other half deleting comments. Friends I hadn't spoken to in years were texting me. Some say, good for you. Others to say, are you okay? But the real circus arrived that evening. Ethan's doorbell rang. He checked the camera feed and started grinning like he'd just seen front row seats to a drama. It's them, he said. Standing outside were Amber, her mom Linda, her dad Mark, Sophie, and Cole himself. They actually brought Cole. Through the speaker, Ethan's voice crackled. Can I help you? Linda crossed her arms. Ryan, you open this door right now. We need to discuss this like adults. Ethan replied, Ryan's not here. And even if he was, you brought the guy who caused this. That's some next-level irony. Amber shouted, It wasn't like that. I was just trying to make sure I had no unresolved feelings before getting married. Did you? Ethan asked. She froze. That's irrelevant. Mark stepped up, trying a fatherly tone. Son, we have 150 guests coming. You can't do this. I already did, Ethan said. Then Cole, because of course he had to, tried to chime in. Look, man, if I could just explain, bro to bro. Ethan cut him off. You're literally the last person who should be talking right now. Amber snapped. You don't get to humiliate me like this. I was doing him a favor by marrying him. A favor. Those 2 words were gasoline on fire. Ethan leaned close to the mic. Cool. Anything else? Linda hissed. We're going to make sure everyone knows what kind of person he really is. Ethan grinned. He already posted the receipts. Security arrived soon after and escorted them out. That night, Amber posted another Instagram story from Cole's apartment. 2 glasses of wine visible on the table. Caption, Sometimes the universe shows you where you're meant to be. I didn't even feel angry anymore. Just vindicated. The closure she wanted? She got it. The morning after the Facebook fiasco dawned gray and heavy, the kind of sky that feels like it's holding its breath. Ethan was already in the kitchen making coffee when I dragged myself out of bed. He looked up, phone in hand, smirking. "You're trending, dude." I took the mug he offered and asked, "Trending how?" He flipped his phone around. My post had been screenshotted and shared to a relationship forum, then reposted on a dozen wedding disaster accounts. Thousands of comments. Half of them saying, "Run, bro, run." The other half calling Amber's text the dumbest move in relationship history. Ethan scrolled through the chaos. People are already calling it the closure wedding. I laughed. The sound brittle but real. Guess I'm famous now. He grinned. "You earned it." By mid-morning, the situation had mutated. Amber's carefully crafted narrative about my supposed breakdown was collapsing under the weight of receipts. My single screenshot had detonated her version of events like a bomb. Friends, co-workers, even distant cousins were posting context matters comments under her post. Someone had compared the two timelines, her text of me, her golf-playing sick ex's Instagram posts, and written, "Looks like the only thing sick here is her judgment." Around 10, Ethan's phone buzzed again. The caller ID read Country Club manager. He raised a brow, answered on speaker. "Hello." "Hi, this is Rebecca from Maplewood Country Club. Mr. Carter, we just want to confirm. Did you cancel tomorrow's rehearsal dinner?" "I did," I said. A pause. "Well, Ms. Patterson is here with her mother, insisting we honor the reservation. They're becoming quite insistent." I sighed. "Tell them they can make a new reservation if they want, but the one under my name is canceled." "Understood. She's also requesting we charge your card for her new booking." Ethan snorted. "Of course she is." Rebecca lowered her voice. "We've had to call security. She's screaming in the lobby." "Sounds about right," I said. "Have a nice day." Not an hour later, my block calls log showed a dozen new numbers trying to reach me. I ignored them all until one slipped through. Mark's voice came through the line, weary and rough. "Ryan, it's Mark. We're at the club. They're calling the police on Linda and Amber. Is this really what you want?" "What I want," I said evenly, "is peace, and to not be married to someone who spends her pre-wedding nights with her ex." A pause thick with shame. She said, "You misunderstood." "Did she mention the wine glass selfie from Cole's apartment last night?" Silence. Then a quiet, defeated, "Yeah, I saw. Still think I'm overreacting?" He hung up without another word. That afternoon, social media delivered its next treat. Amber and Linda, still in full denial, tried to host a makeshift rehearsal dinner at a restaurant. Only 12 of 60 invited guests showed up. Even Sophie looked miserable in the background of photos someone leaked. Captioned, "Family dinner, making the best of it red hard." Seated next to Amber in that picture, Cole, smiling like he'd won a prize. But the internet never sleeps. Someone in the restaurant recognized them, snapped a clearer photo, and posted it to the same thread where my story had exploded. The caption read, "When your fiancé cancels a wedding because you wanted closure with your ex and you show up to the rehearsal dinner with said ex instead." Within hours, the image went viral. Amber's comments filled with laughing emojis and disbelief. She deleted her Facebook by midnight. Friday night, Ethan and I ordered takeout and watched movies, trying to ignore the constant buzz of my notifications. I was halfway through a slice of pizza when he said, "You should see this." He handed me his phone. Amber was live on Instagram. Her eyes were puffy, voice thick with wine. "I just want everyone to know the truth," she sobbed. "Ryan's making me look like a cheater, but I never cheated. I just needed closure. Cole and I have history. He's been through so much, and I want to start my marriage with a clean slate." Ryan said he was fine with it. The comments were merciless. "Girl, you're literally in Cole's apartment right now. Didn't you say he had cancer yesterday? He's holding a beer. Closure doesn't usually happen with wine glasses and overnight bags." Amber tried to move the camera, but Cole's distinctive wall art, a neon sign that said good vibes only, was unmistakable. "It's not like that," she slurred. "We're just talking." Someone commented, "Didn't you say Ryan has a mental health crisis this morning? He looks fine posting receipts." Her mascara streaked down her cheeks as she snapped. He is crazy. Who cancels a wedding over a text? Another comment. Someone whose fiancé tells him she's spending 2 nights with her ex. Ethan started laughing so hard, he nearly spilled his drink. The stream ended with Cole muttering, "Babe, stop, you're making it worse," before he tried to snatch the phone away. By morning, the clip had been screen recorded, re-uploaded, and dissected on Reddit threads, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere. The top comment on one post read, "This dude dodged a nuke in a wedding dress." Meanwhile, I decided to do something radical, get out of town. I drove 3 hours north to a quiet mountain resort I'd booked last minute. No phone calls, no drama, just pine trees and silence. Ethan promised keep an eye on things and text updates. The first came Saturday morning. You're not going to believe this. 30 people showed up to the venue anyway. Apparently, Amber and Linda had been telling relatives the wedding was merely postponed, and come anyway for a celebration of love. The venue, however, was hosting a corporate retreat. So picture this. Amber's extended family wandering the property in formal wear, while confused tech employees were doing trust fall exercises nearby. When the staff tried to escort them out, Linda demanded they honor the original booking. The manager called the police. Again, by afternoon, chaos reigned online. Amber's sister, Chloe, DM'd Ethan privately. "This is insane. Mom and Amber are telling people Ryan had a psychotic break." Meanwhile, Amber's been at Cole's since Wednesday. Dad just found out Cole's divorced twice and living in his mom's basement. I'm mortified. Then came the twist no one saw coming. Cole's sick dad, the one whose cancer supposedly started this whole closure charade, showed up at the venue. He thought his son was getting married. When he realized the truth, witnesses said he erupted in front of everyone. "You told people I had cancer to sleep with an engaged woman? I raised you better than this." Amber tried to intervene. It's not his fault. Ryan overreacted. Cole's dad turned on her. "You're engaged to another man and spending nights at my son's place. You both deserve each other." Security escorted him out while Amber stood there shaking, humiliated in front of her entire extended family. That night, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, I sat on the balcony of my cabin with a beer and let the cool air wash over me. Freedom never tasted so clean. Then my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number, followed by a photo. Amber, in her wedding dress, standing in the bedroom of the apartment we used to share. This could have been our night. "I'm here if you want to talk." I stared at the image for a long moment. The dress looked like a ghost haunting the space. I typed back, "You should check your email." I'd already sent her a notice that I'd terminated the lease and wouldn't be paying next month's rent. Her reply came fast. "You can't do this." "Did it. Good luck." "Where am I supposed to live?" "Cole seems comfortable." Then came 43 voice messages. I didn't listen to a single one. The next morning, Ethan texted again. "Bro, she got evicted. Moved in with Cole." I almost felt bad. Almost. Amber's eviction hit the internet before she could even spin the story. Some neighbor filmed her dragging boxes down the hallway in that same lace wedding dress, barefoot, mascara streaked. The clip hit TikTok within an hour with the caption, "POV, your groom cancels and the ex still doesn't want you." 1 million views, 20,000 comments. The internet never forgets. Ethan texted, "She's trending again. Hashtag closure bride." I didn't open it. I was sitting by the lake, fog curling over the water, coffee cooling in my hands. For the first time in months, my chest didn't feel like it was collapsing inward. I'd stopped checking my phone every 10 seconds. I'd stopped replaying every argument in my head. Amber's chaos had become background noise until the call from her father. He sounded different now. Older, tired. "Ryan," he said, "I owe you an apology for everything." "You don't." "I do. You were right. About all of it." He explained that after the wedding incident, he'd finally cut through the lies. Amber had maxed out her credit card trying to throw a recovery engagement party that no one attended. Linda, her mother, had turned on her when the bills arrived. Cole had apparently moved her into his mother's basement, but disappeared every weekend with another woman. "She's wrecked, son," Mark said, "and she keeps saying she could just talk to you." "She can't," I said flatly. A long sigh. "I figured you'd say that. Still, I hope someday you forgive her." "Maybe someday. But not now." That night, I walked into the lodge bar, ordered a beer, and ended up talking to the bartender, a woman named Lena. Sharp eyes, quiet humor. She didn't know the story, didn't care about trending hashtags. We talked about travel, books, stupid life choices. For the first time, I laughed without bitterness. Days passed. The mountain quiet was therapy. Then one morning Ethan called, voice practically vibrating. "Bro, brace yourself. Cole just went public." "What?" Dude made a TikTok explaining his side. Claims you were emotionally abusive, and that Amber came to him for comfort. I groaned. Of course he did. He also said you hacked her phone. Classic deflection. But the internet had receipts. Someone immediately posted a split screen. Cole's new video on one side, the old golf course selfie from when he was supposedly sick on the other. The caption, "My man was too ill for dinner, but not too ill for 18 holes." Within hours, Cole's comments were locked. 2 days later, his own ex-wife appeared in the thread. "He cheated on me too. Twice. Same lies." The floodgates opened. Former girlfriends, co-workers, even a neighbor, all piling on with stories of stolen money, fake sob stories, emotional manipulation. Someone dug up court records. Cole had a prior charge for credit card fraud. By the end of the week, the internet's verdict was unanimous. Cole, the manipulative ex. Amber's attempt to clear her name backfired again. She posted once more, tear-streaked, saying, "Everyone online is bullying me. Ryan, if you see this, please, I just want to talk." The top comment had 50,000 likes. You wanted closure. You got it. After that, she vanished from social media completely. Months passed. I moved to a new apartment closer to work, started running again, reconnected with old friends. The story faded from the feeds, replaced by the next viral disaster. Then one Friday evening, I got a call from Sophie, the only one of Amber's friends who hadn't completely turned against me. "Hey," she said hesitantly, "you might want to know, Amber's mom put the house up for sale. They're moving out of town." "Good for them," I said. "She's different now. Quiet. Keeps to herself." "Yeah, that happens when you burn down your social life." Sophie exhaled. She told me she still loves you. I stared out the window. That's not love. That's regret. After the call, I poured a drink and opened my laptop for the first time in weeks. The email tab blinked with unread messages, some from strangers who had followed the story, thanking me for showing men they don't have to tolerate disrespect. It was weird being a symbol of anything. I never meant for it to go public. I just told the truth. Then one message caught my eye. Subject line, "Thank you." It was from Chloe, Amber's younger sister. I don't expect a reply. I just wanted you to know you did the right thing. You don't know how bad things were behind the scenes. Mom pressured Amber into marrying someone she wasn't ready for because she wanted to save face. When you called it off, you saved her from a lifetime of pretending. She'll never admit it, but you did. For a long time, I just stared at the screen. The words didn't erase the betrayal, but they softened it. By spring, I was running 5 miles a day, eating better, sleeping through the night. One morning after a run, I found an envelope taped to my apartment door. No return address. My name in familiar handwriting. I almost threw it away, but curiosity won. Inside was a single photo, Amber and me, laughing at the beach 2 summers ago. On the back, a note, "I'm sorry for everything. I hope you find peace. A." No phone number. No address. Just that. I stood there for a while, the paper trembling slightly in my hand. Then I tore it in half, tossed it in the trash, and went to make coffee. Closure doesn't come from letters. It comes from choosing not to look back. A few weeks later, Ethan convinced me to join him at a friend's engagement party. I almost said no, but something in me wanted to prove that weddings didn't have to feel cursed. The venue was small, cozy. Fairy lights, soft music, laughter that didn't sound forced. Halfway through the night, I stepped outside for air. Lena, the bartender from the mountain lodge, was there catering the event. She smiled when she saw me. Small world. Guess it is. We talked for hours about everything but the past. No drama, no viral stories. Just two people who both had enough of noise. When the party ended, she handed me a napkin with her number on it. Next time you want to escape the world, she said, call me. I know a place with better coffee. I did. And for once, there was no twist, no betrayal, no second guessing. 3 months later, Ethan sent me a link, a new post on the same Reddit thread where it all began. The title, Update. The guy whose fiancée needed closure with her ex. I opened it. Someone, maybe one of my friends, had written the update for me. He's doing great. She moved to another state. He's dating someone who actually respects him. Turns out closure wasn't what she needed. Accountability was. The comments were overwhelmingly positive. He dodged a lifetime of pain. She gave him freedom disguised as betrayal. We need this movie adaptation ASAP. I laughed out loud. A movie? Sure. But maybe that's what life was. Messy, unpredictable, occasionally poetic. As I closed the laptop, Lena texted, coffee or late today? Both, I replied. And that was it. The end of a story that began with heartbreak and ended with peace. No revenge sweeter than indifference. Time moved quietly after that. A year went by, then another. Some people say heartbreak fades. I think it transforms. It stops being an open wound and becomes a scar that reminds you how strong you had to be to survive. Life became simple again. I kept my job, started a small photography side hustle, and spent weekends with Lena exploring places I never knew existed just hours from home. Old trails, lake houses, mountain roads that made the world feel wider than the pain I'd once lived in. I never checked Amber's socials after she vanished, though sometimes curiosity whispered. I'd hear snippets. A friend of a friend saying she moved out west, that Cole wasn't the picture anymore. Someone claimed she worked at a local boutique. Another said she was bartending nights. None of it mattered until that email from an unfamiliar address appeared one cold January morning. Hi, Ryan. You don't know me, but I think you dated my ex, Amber Patterson. I found your story online. I just wanted to thank you for helping me see who she really is. She and I started dating last year. She told me all these stories about her abusive ex, who ruined her wedding. Then one night, she got drunk and admitted she cheated on you with Cole and blamed you to save face. She's been telling people you stalk her. I know it's not true. I just thought you deserved to know someone believes you. I sat there, staring at the message. It wasn't anger I felt, not vindication, either, just relief. The truth has a way of finding daylight, even if it takes years. Lena found me at my desk and rested a hand on my shoulder. You okay? Yeah, I said softly. Just ghosts finally leaving. She smiled. Then let them. That night, I deleted every last message, photo, and trace of Amber from my backups. The folder named Wedding Plans was the last to go. When it disappeared, the silence that followed felt like freedom. 2 years later, Ethan got married, for real this time. He asked me to be his best man. When he handed me the invitation, he grinned. You ready to give weddings another shot? Yours? Yeah. I trust you not to pull a closure weekend. Don't even joke, he laughed. His wedding was small, intimate, the opposite of what mine had been shaping up to be. No grand venue, no guest list filled with strangers, just people who mattered. When I stood to give my speech, I caught Lena's eyes across the room. She smiled that quiet smile of hers that always told me she understood things without me having to explain. I raised my glass and said, love isn't about proving anything to the world. It's about being safe enough to not have to. When you find someone who gives you peace instead of confusion, hold on to them. People clapped. Ethan laughed. And for the first time, I realized I wasn't haunted by the word wedding anymore. Months after Ethan's ceremony, I got another unexpected message. This time on LinkedIn of all places. It was from Chloe, Amber's sister. Hey, Ryan. Just wanted you to know Amber's been in therapy. She finally admitted to Mom how badly she messed up. Cole ran off last year after getting caught using her credit card for gambling. She's working 2 jobs now, trying to rebuild. She asked me to tell you she's sorry again, but I told her you moved on. She said she's happy for you. Hope life's good. You deserve better. I read the message twice. Then I replied, Thank you, Chloe. I hope she finds peace. I already did. And that was the truth. That summer, Lena and I took a trip to Italy, our first vacation together. One night, sitting by the canals in Venice, she asked, Do you ever think about her anymore? I shook my head. Not in the way I used to. Sometimes I think about the guy I was back then, though, how desperate I was to be enough for someone who'd already decided I wasn't. Lena leaned her head on my shoulder. You were enough. She just wasn't ready for someone real. I smiled at that. Guess we both got lucky in strange ways. She looked up at me. How's that? I got out before it broke me completely. She got to face herself. And me? You're what happens when the storm finally ends. A year later, we moved in together. No big announcements. No drama. Just 2 people choosing peace every day. On our anniversary, Lena gave me a small box. Inside was a silver keychain shaped like a broken lock. She said, For when you needed closure. I laughed. You're never going to let that go, are you? Not a chance. We both laughed until tears filled our eyes. Sometimes when I scroll through Reddit, I still see the old thread resurface. Screenshots, memes, compilations. Someone even made a mini documentary titled The Closure Bride Saga, When Closure Becomes Consequence. It had millions of views. The comments section was still wild years later. This guy deserves a medal for emotional intelligence. Amber gave him trauma. He turned it into a masterclass in boundaries. Some people burned bridges. He built a life instead. I didn't comment. I didn't need to. The story wasn't mine anymore. It belonged to the internet now. All I'd kept was a lesson. That love without respect is a countdown to disaster, and that sometimes walking away is the bravest kind of revenge. One winter evening, I was out for a walk when a familiar car pulled up beside me. Amber. Older, thinner, quieter. She rolled down the window and gave me a small, tentative smile. Hey, Ryan. I stopped. Hey. I just wanted to say thank you, she said, for not marrying me. That caught me off guard. Most people would say sorry, not thank you. I said sorry 100 times in my head. But thank you, that's the truth. You saved me from a version of myself I didn't even like. I hope you're happy. I am, I said simply. She nodded, smiled weakly, and drove away. And that, finally, was real closure. That night, Lena asked how my walk was. Peaceful, I said, like the universe tied a loose end. She smiled. Good. Now you can stop letting old ghosts live rent-free. Already evicted, I said, pulling her close. Outside, the snow kept falling, silent, forgiving, endless. Years later, when our daughter was born, I held her in my arms and thought about how everything I had lost once had led me here. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every sleepless night, all made space for this peace. Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving someone wrong. It's living a life so good it makes the pain irrelevant. Amber had her closure. Cole had his karma. And I had my peace. The story ended exactly how it should. And with that, our story comes to an end, but the real story begins with your thoughts. What would you do if you were in this situation? Let me know in the comments.